how do you get a treaty investor visa without investing? Well, there's an E-2 employee visa category, which a lot of people don't know about. Meaning if your boss or the company that you want to work for in the United States meets the E-2 requirement, well, then you can come in and work for that company as an E-2 employee. So in this case, we did it for a robotics company. We just got the E-2 visa approved for the CEO of that company to come into the US, and now he wants to bring his trusty secretary to come in as an E-2 employee. The problem is this company in the US only has 30,000 in revenue. That can barely sustain a college graduate, let alone a CEO's family and another E-2 employee. So how do we do it? Well, we're gonna go through everything with you. And if you haven't seen our first video on how we did it for the CEO, you should check that out first. And then this video, we're gonna talk about how we got the employee the E-2 visa. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang and Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem is there's two E-2 applications at play now, right? And we already conquered the first one, but that just makes the second one that much harder because the consulate could say, we approved the first one, 30,000 revenue. You are saying you have this grand business plan that's gonna make millions of dollars and repay all the debt. I believe it for the CEO, but the secretary? No. And that's something I feel like most people don't know about, right? Some people, for example, if they have a tourist visa, they're like, we've always flown in and we stayed for 2 months the past 4 times, 5 times. Therefore, in the future, I could always do that. Every single time you push the boundary, it makes the next time that much harder. Same thing with the E-2 visa. Well, the CEO already got it, but the consulate in Korea could easily say, well, why don't you just operate the business for a year, make sure the business is thriving, and you really did make millions and millions of dollars, then come back and try to bring your employee. So how do we overcome that? We argued that this company, in order to achieve that business plan that we wrote out, millions and millions of dollars of revenue, the CEO cannot do it by himself. Which CEO can do that by himself? No CEO can. You need a business developer. You need somebody who can come in to really execute the day-to-day function to really ramp up sales. This person needs to hire the right people, train them, understand, and then execute. CEO has so many things that they need to do. He cannot do it by himself. And why he cannot hire other people in the US to be the director of business development? Well, because this is a global business. This is a business that's connecting Korea to the US, to the medical devices around the world. So it's a very complicated and interconnected system that only the CEO's trusted right-hand person would be able to do. We use this strategy for all of our H-1B applications, right? We show in order for a company to thrive, they need specialized worker to do specialized things and all the different roles that it takes in order to make the company function. Explain the job duties. So we laid out the groundwork. We showed this crazy, amazing plan that is like fully backed up by so many PowerPoint slides in the original application. And now in the second application, we're able to supplement that business plan with details of the hiring plans, right? We did this big organizational chart to show here's the existing staff that's able to just keep things going. But in order to reach that goal, here's the gameplay. Here's the play-by-play steps that they are going to achieve. And the one person that's critical in all of this is the business developer. The hardest part of this case was just digging it out of them, right? Because to them, this is all confidential secrets. Other competitors would die and pay millions to get their hands on their exactly play-by-play hiring practice. They're like, if we give it to the US government, will they just like sell it? I'm like, no, they have way too much data themselves already. They just want to make sure that your company is going to do well and you're going to hire people and you're going to make the US economy great, right? And they're like, yeah, we could do that, but like, seriously, do we need to give the work samples? I'm like, well, either that or wire another 600,000 to the US right now, right? And they're like, okay, well, we don't want to do that. We're limited by what the client is willing to do and not willing to do. But the arguments are there. As long as you're able to communicate with the clients and have them show you what they can do and cannot do, and then you work with that and come up with the best argument, generally it works. Can't say it works every single time, but in this case, for these two E2 applications, one CEO, one secretary, they both were able to get the E2 for their entire family, even though the US company only makes $30,000 a year. If you have any questions about this case, or any E2 case for that matter, feel free to reach out. Would love to talk to you about E2. It's so fun. Take care. Bye-bye.